But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. I'm the man.
And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! Fight is coming.
Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. What's good, fam? Hey, listen, man, first off, let me welcome everybody to the channel. And if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Danny Garcia, man. Danny Garcia did a recent interview on the PBC podcast. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the podcast, but they got an episode that is released every Tuesday, man. They always have, you know, fighters. Today they had, this Tuesday they had Tim Brown and Danny Garcia. You know, Tim Brown is the director of communications or something for BBC. I forget what his title is, but I think it's that, man. They had him on there, you know, with some really good information, man. But Danny Garcia was on there, man. He said a lot of interesting things, man. I don't know if you know, but recently, former champion Austin Trout. Austin Trout has pretty much called Danny Garcia out, man. He said that he wants to try his hand at welterweight, and Danny Garcia is the guy that he wants to fight. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Danny Garcia was asked about Austin Trout calling him out. You know, he said that he didn't know nothing about it, but, you know, he said that, you know, he don't gotta come down to 147. He said he'll go up to 154. He said Austin Trout ain't nothing special. And that's a very interesting matchup that I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing slick Austin Trout come down to 147 to fight, you know, Danny Garcia, the counter puncher, power in both hands. You know what I'm saying? Is Austin Trout going to be too big for Danny? You know, Danny Garcia also said in his interview that his goals for the immediate future are he wants to capture a title at 147 again, and then he wants to go up to 154 and capture a title in the third weight division. He will become a 3-time world champion if he's able to go up to 154 and you know, capture a title, man. And you know, I like to hear Danny Garcia talking like that, man. You know, he says he's still hungry. He says he's still, you know, he still wants to prove a lot in the sport of boxing, man. You know, I like Danny Garcia, man. Danny Garcia, in my opinion, is underrated. Danny Garcia does not get the credit that he deserves, man. Danny Garcia beat a lot of good fighters. You know, a lot of people say, you know, some of the ex-champions or the guys on his resume were older and on their way out, you know, and you know, they don't give him a whole lot of credit for it. You know, Danny Garcia is a hell of a fighter, man. You know, a lot of those guys who, you know, you may say was old and on their way out, man, they're still guys who is at the same age that they were at that are on top of the sport. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, it's all about the caliber of fighter. You know, Danny Garcia has been an underdog for a lot of his career. Danny Garcia has defied the odds, you know, time and time again. You know what I'm saying? He lost a very, very close fight to Sean Porter. You know, a fight that could have went either way. I just think that Danny's output in that fight, you know, may have cost him the fight. You know, if he was just a little bit more active, you know, if he picked his punch rate up just a little bit more, the fight may have went his way, man. But Danny Garcia, you know, he talked about his plans for the future. You know, he said that He would love the Keith Thurman rematch. He would love the Sean Porter rematch. He would love the Manny Pacquiao, the Earl Spence fight. You know, all of them fights are very good fights, very exciting fights, you know, that I would love to see. All of them will be very competitive. You understand what I'm saying? I would love to see Danny Garcia go up against Earl Spence. You know, I would love to see it. I know a lot of people think, you know, the Earl Spence would just go ahead and, you know, break Danny down, man, but I would have to see it. You know, I will have to see it, man. I don't think that Earl Spence been in there with a puncher like Danny Garcia. You know, I know there's been talk that Manny Pacquiao wants to fight Danny Garcia. You know, he said Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia. You know, I see what Manny Pacquiao is probably looking at. He thinks Danny Garcia is slow and flat-footed, and you know, he thinks that, you know, he can get his shit off. You understand what I'm saying? But that would be an interesting fight. You know, that would be an interesting fight also. There was talk about Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia, which I think would be another good fight. They also asked him about that on the podcast. You know, he said that, you know, when he first heard about it on social media, he heard about it on social media. He didn't know nothing about it. So he said he called his team and he asked his team, you know, what's up with that? His team, you know, said that they offered Mikey Garcia the fight. You know, Danny said that he was interested in the fight, but he never heard they never heard anything back from Mikey Garcia. You know, being that Mikey Garcia, you know, just lost to Earl Spence, you know, to come back in a fight against top welterweight like Danny Garcia, you know, Danny said he might not want to, you know, come right back in there and jump right into the lion's den, you know, with the guy with a skill set of his. You understand what I'm saying? Danny's coming off a very impressive knockout victory, total domination of Adrian Granados. Granados is a guy who was always in a tough fight. You know, he got a lot of losses on his record, but he has never been dominated. He has never been knocked out. Danny Garcia went in there and dominated, battered, and beat up Adrian Granados. You know, he beat him up, man. Dropped him a couple times, didn't end up stopping him, man. Danny Garcia looked very good, very explosive. He said he added a strength and conditioning coach to his team, and it showed. You know, he was more powerful. He was, you know, he had more explosiveness. You know what I mean? It was evident, man. But Austin Trout, I would love to see that fight, man, and maybe, you know, we can get that fight next, man. I do think that, you know, that may be a fight that PBC will make. You know, can Austin Trout make 147? You know, and how will he look at 147? You know, Austin Trout can box. He's slick, man. You know, understand what I'm saying? So I think the matchup between him and Danny Garcia will be a very, very good one, man. But you know, I'm gonna keep my eyes open and my ear to the street, and you know, we'll see what happens, man. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Like I said, if you're new here, I want you to be here. Think about hitting that subscribe button. You can catch me on Twitter, on Instagram at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting the sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I'll holla back.